Hi, my name is Jerry Wise, and I'm a therapist at Family Tree Counseling Associates in Carmel, Indiana, on the north side of Indianapolis. And I'd like to bring you and talk about a video today entitled, I Don't Trust You, Can't We Move On? The Post-Affair Marital Dance. This video is about after the affair has happened and the couple is now stuck with and stuck in the positions in their marriage of having the affair being part of their relationship, and how couples struggle after that, even very well-meaning couples, even couples who care about each other, even couples who love each other and want to move on, find themselves getting stuck and not knowing how to move forward. Usually the spouse who had the affair gets stuck in the can't we move on position, or the can't we move on pattern. They feel very stuck in that. Like, can't we just move on? I've said the details. I've told you. Why can't you trust me? It's been 2 years now. Why is that still an issue? The other spouse who has been betrayed gets stuck in an I can't forgive or trust you position, or an I can't forgive or trust you pattern in the relationship. And this continues on in a relationship, on, and can go on for years for some couples. And unfortunately, it can go on for years. Fortunately, it does not have to. There really is a fair recovery and a fair healing. And a lot of couples are just not aware of the secrets as to how to do that. And in this video, I'd like to talk about a couple. The spouse who went outside the marriage often is overly anxious to move on and is tired of answering all those thousands of questions asked by their spouse. They may answer and answer, but it never seems to be good enough. It never seems to be complete enough. They may even ask for forgiveness, but it does not seem to be effective in helping the couple move forward. And so the spouse who's gone outside the marriage feels stuck in anxiety and frustration with not being able to move forward. The person who has been the betrayer in the relationship feels frustrated, resentful of the faithful partner, and it tends to exacerbate the old pain which reminds this spouse of the poor marriage they had before the affair. And now the other spouse seems to have more leverage, or can be even more critical or more hurtful than maybe they were prior to when the affair had happened. The spouse who has gone outside the marriage feels unaccepted by their spouse and feels unloved, and it's very difficult for them. The spouse who was cheated on tends to obsess about the affair. It becomes a part of their mind and their emotions that just cannot get outside of them. They tend to obsess. They obsess about the hurt of the affair. And actually, I've found couples, and the spouse who is the faithful one who's been betrayed finds themselves having the affair pain over and over and over again. And it becomes difficult to heal. They ask 1,000 questions, and again, they ask the questions trying to get the feelings of this obsession and this hurt outside of them. So they ask these questions over and over again, and they try to find some new bit of information that might help them discover why their spouse did this, or why their spouse is still untrustworthy, or maybe their spouse is still untrustworthy and they are trying to find out if that's true. They feel fearful they are unloved and feel the emotional pain and abandonment and feelings of betrayal. They struggle with anger, resentment, and suffer from wounded self-esteem. The betrayed partner feels stuck in unforgiveness and obsessive thoughts, and the affair is never far from their mind or their heart. And you can imagine if a couple are stuck in these two patterns, how difficult a marriage and a relationship they would have, on top of the problems that they had prior to the marriage. Or excuse me, prior to the affair. The spouse who had the affair is stuck trying to get to the future. The spouse who was betrayed is stuck in the past. And neither spouse can live in the present. And that's where it becomes difficult for a marriage to move on. The spouse who is betrayed is stuck always feeling suspicious, waiting to be hurt again, and keeps thinking and feeling, when can I really trust you again? They do not feel loved or feel special. They still feel they live in the struggles of the poor relationship that they had before the affair started. After an affair, most couples don't start at a baseline again. Meaning we don't start over again or start with a clean slate. We have to live in the difficult relationship we had before the affair, plus having now the affair having happened. And so now we have two layers of difficulty. The marriage that we had that created the possibility for this affair, and now the affair. And that makes marriages and relationships very difficult. The partner who had the affair always tends to feel on the defensive, always feels like they're defending their behavior, their calls that they make on their phone, their attitudes, their schedule. They're always trying to defend, no, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, no, you can trust me. And they think and they feel, when have I paid for my affair? When will I be trusted again? I've told you everything. I don't know what more I can say. And again, the difficulty is thinking if we just had more information, it would heal the person who feels betrayed. And that's usually not what happens. It doesn't mean there shouldn't be an airing of the affair or a clearing out of the affair information. But more information doesn't just fix the feelings that the betrayed spouse has. This partner who had the affair also lives with often the guilt, the shame, and maybe even some feelings left over for the affair partner. They feel less than, or they feel one down regarding the partner they're with now, their spouse, because they feel like they've done something to really betray the marriage, which they have. But now it's a one down, one up problem that we have in the relationship. They also feel the unresolved feelings from a bad marriage they had before the affair, and it's layered on top of the affair feelings that just complicate things. So, what does a couple do now? If you're a couple who's stuck in this kind of pattern, certainly I would advise and I would say that an affair is certainly a problem, a very real problem. I would also say it is a symptom, and symptom of the problem, which often has to do with our own sense of inner self, the way we do intimacy, and with the way we've built our marriage. And while there's been a betrayed and a betrayer, it still involves two people in the marriage that have created some real difficulties for themselves, and it's important to get some help to sort those out. I would first tell a couple that I would advise them not to sort this out on their own. I don't care how many books you read, I don't care how many Oprah shows you watch, I don't care how much Dr. Phil you see, or any other type of programs. While they may be useful and helpful, I'm not sure they help give you the objectivity and the healing that you need for your specific relationship and your specific healing. So don't try to sort it out on your own. You've probably tried before to make things better, and maybe things have been worse, or maybe it's just taken you in circles and you've just gone round and round again. I do want to encourage you and offer you hope that an affair-proof marriage is possible. Marriages can be affair-proof. I've seen it happen dozens, if not hundreds of times. It's not just about accountability. It's not just about watching the cell phone, monitoring where your spouse goes or who they're with. While there may be a place for those kinds of behaviors, I don't think that fixes the problem, nor does it make it an affair-proof marriage. It's about learning intimacy and having a mature relationship of love with increased self-differentiation and self-esteem, resolving family of origin issues, and healing broken understandings about intimacy and love, and about marriage. And it's about all those things that we brought into the marriage with us. And that creates the soil, the fertile soil, for an affair to happen. You heal the soil, you get better crops, and you get a better marriage. When couples are stuck in the patterns I have described, and they've continued when they're stuck in those patterns, then they continue what I call a relationship with the affair. In other words, the affair becomes part of their marriage. Now there's 3 people in the affair: a husband, a wife, and the affair. A partner, and the affair. And now we have a triangle, and this triangle is very damaging to a relationship. And what we need in a healthy marriage are 2 partners, not 3. So get a good therapist, find a very good therapist who knows how to deal with couples. Couples still love each other and care about each other. Often they just don't know the road to, number 1, uncoupling with that affair, uncoupling with that triangle with the affair, and they don't know how to resolve the problems in the marriage which set the stage for the affair. And then thirdly, how to experience an affair-proof marriage. There are 2 secrets for recovery after an affair. One is affair recovery requires counterintuitive thinking and recovery process. We tend to think an affair causes too much distance between couples. Between partners, there's too much distance because now we're not close anymore because there was an affair. Actually, it produces the opposite. Actually, it produces too much togetherness. There's a closeness reactivity, an over-closeness reactivity, a fusion and an enmeshment between partners and between spouses. And this makes intimacy, love, and a healthy marriage impossible. Too much closeness, too much fusion does not allow for healthy, intimate marriage. So, second of all, the triangle of the spouse-spouse affair, spouse-spouse and affair, those 3 people, is what keeps a couple stuck. There are very effective ways to break this triangle. Honestly, an affair causes a couple to become too close emotionally rather than too distant. And most people think the opposite, but you need to think counterintuitively. In other words, think the way you wouldn't normally think, because that's the way out. Too much closeness after an affair, not too much distance. Contact me and I'll show you why. I don't mean close in a healthy way, I mean close in a very unhealthy way. I want you to join our YouTube channel and get the latest videos. I try to upload videos once a week so you can get some new information. Please join our Family Tree Counseling channel on YouTube. I also provide Skype and Facetime counseling for those who can't come to the office. Whether you're from the East Coast or the West Coast or the Midwest, give me a call and we can work out counseling for you to help you with your relationship. Please, if you like the videos, please push like on the video. If they're helpful to you or you have questions, leave comments. I respond to all the comments. And I want to thank you for watching and have a great day.